think that I should be able to move that by hand. And if you look, it's definitely not sitting in there right. And you can see where some soot has escaped. So we're going to do whatever it takes to get this reseated. Pro tip for these tricky bolts, this is a 5/16 wrench. And it's about to make short work of this job. So from what I'm reading, resonator failures happen far less on NCV3s, but they can happen. From what I understand, there is no metal tube that goes in here. So once it breaks, I guess your only option is to get a new one. Okay, so the two bolts here were E10s. Now I'm going to use this T20 to remove the holding clamp right here, and then we'll be able to pull it off. Clip comes right off. Looks like it's in good condition. Alright, looks like we've got one more E10 up here. Beautiful.
Hard to see it, but there's still one more E10 holding us in.
Not really many places to put things in here. It's not like the T1Ns. Two pieces. There's the metal straight pipe here, and then here's the actual plastic resonator. These O-rings look pretty good. It just wasn't sitting right. There was indeed an O-ring on the metal straight pipe at the turbo side. So here's what I'm thinking the best course of action is. It has to go back on as one unit. All the way in and snug like that. I put some oil on the O-rings to make it go in a little smoother. All the way in. There we go. Damn, it's in. Alright, I'm going to tighten the turbo bolts first. I'm going to worry about these two, and I'll do that last one way in the back last. Okay, so in the event that further adjustment is needed on your turbo intercooler, you can see the vertical metal pipe here. There are 3 bolts that hold it in. One is right here, one is right here, and the other one is actually on the engine mount. So once you loosen those 3 bolts, it helps to have a friend come and lift this up, tighten one back in so it stays, then come up here and fit in the resonator and outlet pipe so that everything's adjusted proper, and you want to ensure the resonator and outlet pipe are still nice and tight together once you do that. And before you start the engine, you want to tighten the 3 bolts that you loosened before on this pipe. Otherwise, the starting of the engine and the shaking of the engine when it starts could displace this again and cause problems up here again. Now, this is all aluminum, so you want to be really careful not to go too tight, to strip anything. You do want it to be tight. And that's kind of why I'm using this weird flexible screwdriver, so I don't go too tight on it. Alright, before we get too crazy with the other brackets though, I'm going to reinstall this. Ooh,
not get me. All right, now that everything's tightened back up, you're gonna want to put the airbox back on and give it a test run. I'm a little rattle paranoid now, but I've tightened everything down. I missed a bolt, heard it, tightened it. Chafe against the wiring harness. That sounds significantly better. When we went to look at it, it sounded like there was a lot of air escaping, and I think that pushing the resonator pieces together really helped quiet it down and bring out more engine noise and less turbo noise. Now there's just a turbo whistle versus a lot of air escaping. We won't know for sure if it's fixed though until we drive it. Now, there are just a couple more things I want to do on the Sprinter before I button it all back up and take it on the highway to test it. That won't be today, though. I want to pull this air filter back off again and put a piece of rubber down here where there's hot water pipe. Ends up chafing the wiring harness over time. It doesn't look like it's happened yet, but if I put a piece of rubber in there or something similar, it should prevent it from happening in the long run. There's also another place back here where there's a sharp metal bracket that I want to bend a little bit and see if I can't put a piece of rubber back there to prevent where this piece, this sharp piece right here is probably going to